What's up, YouTube? Chris Vega here with Vega Home Realty Team, and today we're going to talk about VA loans Barney-Style. What's up, YouTube? Chris here. First thing off the bat, I just want to say a disclaimer. I am not a loan professional. Seeking out a loan, you should talk to your loan officer, local bank, financial advisor, whoever, to talk about your loans. This is me talking about VA loans as a realtor from a realtor's perspective and my own personal experiences in helping clients use a VA loan to obtain a mortgage. Okay, so what is a VA loan? A VA loan is a zero money down program backed by the VA for the banks for an eligible person, usually a veteran of the military, to use this program to put no money down as a down payment to buy a house. Now, I just want to make a really quick statement here. In the real world, it's not as simple as just zero money down and that's it, but we will talk about that later. Right now, I just want to go back into kind of what a VA home loan is. So I got my trusty notes here, just 2 pads. I got 2 pads of notes. All right, so the VA loan there's 2 parts to a VA loan that really kind of intertwine with the home buying process. And I did a video on the home buying process already. If you watch that and this video, you'll kind of get an understanding how a VA loan works in the home buying process. So in the home buying process, you have your mortgage, and there's another part in there, your appraisal. And that's where the VA loan comes really in, is in the mortgage part of getting your loan, because that's what it basically is, and the appraisal part, because that deals with the bank getting the loan. Okay, you want to make sure that your credit is up to par, right? Your credit doesn't have to be perfect to use a VA loan, but in retrospect, you should have a decent credit score so that your percentage rates is good. You don't want a really bad credit score, then you're going to have really not such good rates, right? So the better the credit, the better the credit, the better the score, right? Overall, make sure that your DTI is still good. Should be, your DTI needs to be, it's important, it needs to be low. Okay, talk to your loan advisor about your DTI and your credit scores and your credit and how you could manage that and how to get it better for the loan. A good loan mortgage lender or loan officer should be able to analyze your situation and say, hey, this and this, take care of them, take them off your credit report, get your DTI lower and your credit score will be better. Okay, so those are those things that a mortgage lender can do and help you with to help your best chances for getting a loan. The bank is not the VA or the government. The government is not giving you a loan in the VA process, right? The loan is still coming from the bank. What the program is just that saying that the government is backing this loan up to a certain percent, backing this loan and giving the veteran or the person that's eligible special privileges with this loan, certain things that comes along with using this loan. So when you go to apply for this loan, there's 2 ways to go for it, right? One, you go to the VA portal and you obtain what's called a certificate of eligibility, COE. Once you get this COE, either by you going to the portal or the loan officer obtaining your DD-214, because you're going to give them a copy, and then they can apply for it on your behalf. So there's 2 ways you could do it. You go to a loan officer or you do it yourself. Either way. But once you get approved, your loan officer will take that and apply whatever benefit you get with it. And what I mean by that is, so as we're going to talk about, is there's funding fees, right? So the VA charges you to use the VA home loan, to use the benefits of it. There's a charge, okay? And that's called a funding fee. So the funding fee for VA is basically this really quick. It's a percentage times the amount of the loan. So for example, if your house is 300K that you want to buy, 300,000, you take that funding fee percentage, which is 2.3% right now. If you put zero money down, if you put 5% down, it's 1.65. And if you put 10% down, it's a 1.4. These numbers are as of January 1st, 2020. They kind of went down a little bit from the old numbers, but they're probably going to change later on. So, like I said, today is the 1st of November of 2020. So if you see this video later on in life, on YouTube, make sure you definitely check the website to see what the current rates are. But as of right now, these are the rates. So you would take your 300K, times it by the 2.3%. That would be your funding fee. Hey, you don't pay a funding fee is one, you have a Purple Heart. You have a percentage, and that's pretty much it. If you have a percentage or a Purple Heart, you don't have to pay a funding fee. Okay. VA, there's in the program itself, there's caveats in the program itself that benefit the person taking out the loan using a VA loan. So there's what they call non-allowable fees, and there's allowable fees. I would recommend that you definitely 100% talk to your loan advisor about those fees and what they entail. I would also recommend that you go onto the VA website and do some research on those fees. I'm going to touch on it really quick. So like I say, always revert to the veterans, because they actually sometimes update it where they might add something to the non-allowable fees, or they might add something to the allowable fees. So I would always recommend checking that. But really quick, the nickname for these are like junk fees, right? Where the broker will try to add extra fees on for stuff, like an escrow fee, notary fee. So one of the things to explain it was there's a notary fee, and the notary kind of changes throughout the states. So the government basically said, well, notaries are different all over the state. We're just going to make it no notary fees whatsoever. So that's one of the things that you can't get charged for if you use the VA loan, is a notary fee. The other thing is termite inspection. It is mandatory for the VA person that's taking the VA loan to get a termite inspection. But the caveat is that they're not allowed to pay for it. So that means either the seller has to pay for it, the bank has to pay for it, or the agents, whichever agent pays for it. That's one of the, not the hardest thing, but it's like, I've had agents tell me, oh, my client is not paying for that. Your client needs to pay for that. And then you got to say, well, no, my client, doesn't pay for that because he's using the VA. The seller is going to have to eat that cost. And then you go back and forth, So, technically at the end of the day, the person using the VA, which is the buyer, he is not allowed to pay for termite inspection. So it has to get done. The receipt literally has to be in someone else's name, because that gets turned into the VA so they can see it. Okay. So allowable fees. Allowable fees are appraisal, credit report, title insurance, a flood certification, and a discount in points. Okay, all those are allowable fees right now. It could change, like I said. Check the website, talk to your loan advisor, but those are as of right now, allowable fees. Now, also, if you have a good loan officer, and some of them are very, veteran friendly, you could say. Sometimes they even waive those fees, like appraisal fees. They might waive it. Ask your loan officer, hey, do you waive appraisal fees? And if he says yes, it's a good thing. If he says no, then maybe look around a little bit more and see if you could get a loan officer that, will waive those appraisal fees. And some other fees. Like just because they're allowable fees doesn't mean that they have to charge you. They could give you a discount. Just do your research. That's basically what I'm coming down to. Just do your research on the loan company that you're using and just see what you get for your bang for your buck. Okay. Loan officer, it suits what you need for your loan. It kind of checks all the boxes and it's the best one. You want to work with somebody that's going to do right by you. You don't want to work with somebody that's, that's just looking to get paid. And, it is a business, but still, you want to work with somebody that is workable, right? All right. So now let's talk about the reality of a loan with the VA, right? I talk to a lot of military clients that want to use the VA, and the VA is a great program. It has definitely a lot of benefits to it. As per PMI, you don't have to pay for PMI. You could actually take a loan out with more than one house using a VA. Talk to your loan supervisor about that, but there is a way that you can actually take up to 4 homes out with a VA loan as long as you can afford it, right? You're not going to do it if you can't afford it. It's just, and you could refinance with a VA, right? One other thing is you can buy your house with a VA, down the line, 6 months to a year later, you could refinance. But just remember, if you refinance, those percentage rates, that funding fee, a refinance is just like a closing. So you'll still get charged that funding fee. And this time the funding fee is a little bit more. The funding fee on a second time right now is a 3.6 for the second time used. Okay. So that's important to think about when you're doing a refinance for the future of your house, right? You buy with your VA loan at first at a 2.3 funding fee, then you buy at then you refinance a couple years later and it's a 3.6 based on your purchase price. And hopefully, in the time that you bought it and the time that you're going to refinance, that you've paid off some of the principal a little bit and it's come down. Nothing crazy, but just remember that. And just a side note here, sometimes you should really talk to your loan advisor, and I work with a really good one. He's like awesome. You just look at the benefits, right? Okay, because you have a funding fee and then you have conventional loans. Would it be worth it to take that VA refinance, or would I go a regular refinance with a conventional loan? Because you have that funding fee and then you pay for points down. There's a lot of things that you have to consider when, using the VA loan versus a conventional. It does give you benefits in the beginning, but then when you go to refinance, you really need to see what's better for you. Do I pay these points, or do I take that money and use it to buy down? Do I pay money on a funding fee to refinance, or do I take that, let's say $6,000 and use it for points to bring my points down on a loan, on a refinance loan? So you just got to really think about that. Talk to your loan advisor when you're thinking about refinancing and ask them, should I do a VA or should I do a conventional? Which is the better option here? Which is the one that's going to save me more money in my pocket at the end of the day? Because that's what you're refinancing for. You're not refinancing to get more charges and then, pay less. You rather pay less, less charges and pay less. That'd be the smart move. So talk to your loan supervisor or your loan advisor about that. Now, let's talk about the reality of the VA loan. The reality of the VA loan is, it's a misconception, right? In the sense that, yes, you can put zero money down on an offer. So you could say, listen, I want to buy your house, zero money down for $300,000. And you might have someone that takes that offer. You might have someone that's very patriotic or was in the military themselves and, is saying, okay, no problem, let's do it. In the real world, the seller's agent is going to advise them not to do that deal. And there's a couple of reasons why. And they're not telling them not to take the deal. They're going to give them their experiences and advise them. It is what it is, in the sense that, as a real estate agent, we have fiduciary duties to our clients, and that's their duties, is to give them the best advice. So most likely the agent is going to say, listen, you have 0% down with the VA loan, but I'm going to advise my client, that you should put money down, because they want you to have what's called skin in the game. That's a term a lot of people use, this and that. Skin in the game basically is just saying that if the deal falls through because of you, that whatever money you put down, they get to keep, and their time is not wasted. They get some money out of it. It also keeps you involved, because if I have $500 to $3,000 on the table, I don't want to lose that money. So it makes me want to it makes me want to finish this deal. So they want to see that you can do that and produce that money. So when you have a seller's agent telling their client, listen, this is not a good thing, we should tell them to put some money down. There is no, let me say this again, there is no specific amount that you need to put down. Okay? None. I've had an agent tell me she's been in the business 35 years and gives me her resume like I'm trying to hire her to be a real estate agent, which I'm not a broker, I'm a sales agent. Okay? And you have some of these real estate agents that demand certain things, and they say these things that are just don't make any sense, and they act like because someone's new to the game that we don't know any better. Well, I'll say it again, there is no required amount that you have to put down. So if the seller's agent says, oh, you have to put 3% down, no, you do not. You could put $500 down. Okay? You could put $500 down, 1% down, 2% down. There is no amount that says you have to put, there's nothing that says you have to put a certain amount. Okay? So if you have your agent saying, listen, it's like a good faith thing, let's offer 1%. 1% is a good number, or $500, depending on your finances at the time. You should have some money saved for closing, but you should have some money in the bank for closing to buy this house. You can't technically, could you buy this house with no money down? Yes, there is a way to do it, but it's not just as simple as no money and that's it. It's, you might have to put $500 to 1% or a little bit more. And then what happens is they take that money that you put as a down payment, the loan officer will take that money and then they flip it into your closing costs. So just for example, let's say the signing of contract, you put down 1%, and that's $3,000. When you go to the closing table, they're going to take that $3,000 and apply it to your closing cost. So now, let's say, just for example, your closing cost was let's say $9,000. That $3,000 goes directly to your closing cost. Now it makes your closing cost $6,000, and then all you have to come to the table for closing is $6,000. Now, mind you, that's a hypothetical situation. That is not like for all situations. It's just using an example. So now that your closing costs are $6,000, it's just a little bit less money that you have to come to at closing. So in retrospect, and technically speaking, did you pay zero money down? Yes, you did, because the money that you actually put in the 1% that's signing up contract, they're taking that money now, using it for the closing cost. And so technically you're not putting money down, if that makes sense. That's just how it is. So the zero money down in the real world is far and few of really getting zero money down. Okay. I know that a lot of guys think of zero money down, that's it, but it's really not as cut and dry as that. It's a little bit more of, the back and forth. One thing I will say also is that a seller does not have to take your offer. They could reject your offer. So just think about it. If I'm selling a house and I have two people that want to buy my house, one is a person with a VA loan, with zero money down, right? So that means they have no skin in the game. And then I have another person here with a conventional 20% down. Who do you think they're going to go with? You know, unless the seller himself is, a military, diehard patriotic, and, or they like you for some reason, they just click with you, they could go with your deal. I've seen that happen. But, if they go with the conventional one because it's all about the money they need, that's what it is. Just remember, when you're doing a VA loan on this side, there's things that you can do to get the closing costs rolled in, because you have 0% down payment, plus you could take 100% of the loan. So if you could take 100% of the loan, if there's any equity in this loan, you're allowed to use that equity with the permission of the seller to pay for your closing costs. So the way that would work would be, let's say the offer in your house is $300K, your house appraises for, let's say, $315. You can use that equity in the house to pay for your closing costs. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you can do with a VA loan that you need to, one, make sure you talk to your agent about, and your loan officer, right? It's a team, right? The agent is not the loan officer, so they can't tell you what how much you pay and fees and all that. That's the loan officer part. But a good agent that has dealt with VA loans can kind of help you to understand how VA loans work, and also, pick a strategy for you. Like, what's the best offer to do? Do you need a concession? Do you don't need a concession? Do you have the money to put down? If you do, then this is how we're going to go about it. So you really need to be honest and upfront with your loan officer. Make sure you have money saved up for closing. Remember, 4 to 6% of that offer. So if you want to buy a $300,000 house, make sure you're saving up, 4 to 6% of $300,000, so that you can use that for closing costs if you're using a VA loan. So that's the VA loan process pretty much in a nutshell. Really down and dirty. You could get more in depth into it, and you could talk about different angles of how to approach a VA loan, in the sense of how you're going to use it in your offers and in the home buying process. But that's just really quick, down and dirty, my experiences from using the VA loan with my clients in the short time that I've been in the business, right? Any questions, you can hit me up in the comments below. Video is good. Please like, subscribe, and that's it. That's all I got for you. It's Sunday morning. Have a good morning, and peace out.